Hi folks, welcome back to the Horde. So, I don't know, what is this telling me? Something like 2:45, 28.7 Celsius, 55% humidity. Look at that, my batteries aren't fully charged. And if you look at that guy, it says 8/25 Tuesday, 84.0. Well, I'm working on the newest Tractor Supply Baja Warrior that I actually got from Tractor Supply pre-beat, and let me show you what I found. It wouldn't roll, and it turns out the chain was rusty, so I kind of freed that up enough to make sure that that it'll roll. The flat tire, I told you guys I got a tube coming for it. The throttle, I told you guys I got replacement coming for this, big 13 bucks. So all of that is good. You guys remember when I first pulled the string, it was seized. So I got it unseized. All I did was put a 18 millimeter on this and rock it back and forth, and it came unseized, no problem. So that's all good. I gave it a small hoot of gas into the carburetor and a little ether, and it actually has fire. It actually popped a couple of times. So with that, I said, let me take a look at the carburetor and see how bad it is. And unfortunately, this bike was sitting outside of Tractor Supply. As a matter of fact, the Tractor Supply in Patterson leaves their new bikes as well as their old bikes outside. I don't think a very good idea. And I'll show you exactly why. First of all, this was obviously on there, but there was no air filter. So whatever water from the rain that would collect along the top here, even if it's only a few drops that gets in, it's going to cause you trouble. And by trouble, oh God, I mean this. Look at that carburetor. Come on. I mean, just, the problem is the old upside down camera. And look at this. And unfortunately, if you look in the intake, I mean, you guys see that? I mean, how nasty it is in there. Look at that. There you go. So, I have a question. And specifically, Musty 1, you just got that Volkswagen running after it's sat for 20 years or so. I know, whoops. I know you just put a wrench on the crank and got things loosened up, dumped some oil down the cylinder, and all was good. As a matter of fact, the oil down the cylinder, obviously fouled your plugs and made you work a little extra hard at getting it started. Made that starter work a little extra hard for sure. I mean, what would you do with something like this? Would you just kind of clean out the end of the intake the best you can? Just kind of scoop out as much of this crap as you can, and hope for the best. But I mean, this engine was seized. I mean, it wasn't hard to break loose. I mean, do you do that and just fire it up and what's in there, oh well? Or I mean, do you say to yourself, no, I don't trust it, I gotta tear the head off and clean it up in there? I mean, tearing the head off isn't that big a deal. I don't know, what do I have, half a dozen bolts. That'll give me a chance to look at the overhead valves and make sure everything else is kosher in there. So I guess it's not a bad idea to tear the top end off. I mean, if I toast this engine, it's $100 bill to replace it. This bike, I told you guys I paid $250 for it. With tax, it was about $270, and just under $270. And I've sent about $30 to eBay. So I'm just rounding the $300 corner with it, right? If I get this engine to run as it is, without putting any additional money into it, I'll have $300 into it. If I had to guess, though, I'm probably going to throw a carb on it, so that takes me to $3.25. I mean, I don't know. I enjoy the hell out of these bikes. For $3.25, it strikes me as if they're well worth that. I happen to also like this one in black. It's got kind of a, a dark night kind of look to it. Oh, look at that! I'm right side up again too. So anyway, and back upside down. I don't know. What do you guys think? Just slam a carburetor on it and run it the way it is, or it pays to obviously clean it out the best I can, but it was seized, so there is some bad news that got in there at some point. The valves are obviously free and moving. The oil didn't look milky, though. I should check it again now that I pulled it a few times. Maybe it needed to be stirred up to get milky. What would you guys do? Would you, once again, slam a carburetor on it and pull the string and ride the hell out of it, or would you open it up and put a little time and effort into it, or would you say the hell with it entirely and stick a $100 Predator engine on it and be in much better condition? That'll once again take my stake in this thing up to about $400, which. I mean, this one I paid $350 for. The gas tank was another $27, and then the carburetor. So there's all the $400 sitting here. This one I paid $200 for, and she's running on all her own OEM stuff. I didn't do anything but clean up the carburetor. So this one was the best deal out of all of them. For $200, she's running like the best of them. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. And once again, if you guys have a Predator bike, not a good idea to leave it outside uncovered, man. Obviously, the way the water drips on them, it rusts the hell out of the chain, right? It kind of drips off the seat and off of here, and it lands, right on the chain and clutch. And also, it appears as if some of it drips off and goes down the air filter and screws the motor up, right? So, do yourself a favor. If you do have to leave it outside, try to cover it. This bike, though, appears to be in nice shape, right? It didn't pull on the handlebars. Doesn't have scrape marks, right? Doesn't have abrasions on the ends, right? The fender have no abrasions, right? This is all clean. Well, that's missing. So it did lose a light at some point. But generally speaking, I mean, just in really nice shape. The seat, the whole bit. I don't know, guys. Some opinions? Hey, folks, I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank you for commenting and subscribing. Remember, keep your tires down, keep your handlebars up, live, love, and enjoy all your days. Take care now, folks. Bye.